Velkommen til min apologetiske vlogg. Du skal lese forordet til Thomas Keating i denne boka. Kundalini-energi og kristen åndelighet, A Pathway to Growth and Healing, skrevet av Philip St. Romain. Denne boka her, den anbefaler kundalini-energi og kristen åndelighet. De synes det er så fantastisk å blande hinduistisk slangekraft med kristen åndelighet. Det her synes jeg ikke er bra. Det her er, altså Bibelen forbyr å blande sammen og tilbe andre avguder, men nå skal jeg lese forordet sånn at du får se det selv. This book is the first description that I know of in Christian literature about the awakening of kundalini energy. In a purely Christian context, kundalini has long been known in Taoist, Hindu and Buddhist spirituality. The fact that this complete awakening occurred in the context of a classical development of Christian prayer makes it an important contribution to East-West dialogue. Given the newness of the Kundalini experience in Christian circles, however, any theological interpretation is bound to be tentative. Reading the Christian mystics from the perspective of his own experience of Kundalini energy, the author sees many examples of its working in the lives of Christian saints and mystics, since this energy is also at work today in numerous persons who are devoting themselves to contemplative prayer. This book is an important contribution to the renewal of the Christian contemplative tradition. It will be a great consolation to those who have experienced physical symptoms arising from the awakening of Kundalini in the course of their spiritual journey, even if they not experience it to the full extent described by the author. His compelling testimony is a powerful affirmation of the potential of every human being for higher states of consciousness. The awakening of Kundalini energy and its various stages clearly enhances our understanding of how the body takes part in the spiritual journey. Spiritual writers of our tradition have long known that the body must be carefully prepared if it is to receive the higher communications of divine grace. For example, St. John of the Cross considered bodily ecstasy a weakness that gradually subsides in the process of transformation. With keen insight, the author raises several crucial questions that arise from his experience of the full unfolding of Kundalini. Prior to the awakening of Kundalini, he received the baptism in the Spirit and enjoyed the gift of tongues. While appreciating the immense value of Kundalini, he sharply distinguished it from the action of the Holy Spirit. He considered Kundalini a natural evolutionary energy inherent in every human being. There is a tendency in Hindu spirituality to identify Kundalini and the Holy Spirit, perhaps because the baptism in the Spirit is not a part of the experience of the East. Kundalini is an enormous energy for good, but like all human potential, it could also be used for selfish motives and thus become a source of serious harm. This is probably the energy that is so attractive in cult leaders. They may well impart a spiritual experience through the transmission of Kundalini in a way that we do not yet understand. Energy, however great, is only energy. It is how one uses it that counts. Thus the importance of the moral context in which kundalini is awakened. Most spiritual disciplines worldwide insist on some kind of serious discipline before kundalini, techniques of awakening are communicated. In Christian tradition, the exercise of the moral virtues, that quiet emotional turmoil, the service of others, and the regular practice of the stages of Christian prayer, from discursive meditation to contemplation, are the essential disciplines. Without such positive preparation and the passive purifications described by St. John of the Cross, kundalini could serve the purpose of the false self and be used for spiritual power plays to the great emotional and spiritual damage of other people. Thus, for a Christian at least, it is essential that their energy be directed by the Holy Spirit. In Christian spirituality, the unfolding of the stages of prayer described by St. Teresa of Avila in the interior castle may be the fruit of the kundalini energy, arising under the guidance of the Holy Spirit. Kundalini may also be an active ingredient in the dark nights of St. John of the Cross. Kundalini has influenced ancient Eastern methods of medicine such as acupuncture and Ayurvedic medicine. As these forms of healing become better known in the West, the question as to exact nature of Kundalini will certainly arise. All the Eastern tradition concur that this energy should not be awakening except under the guidance of a qualified teacher. Since the energy can arise through the practice of ordinary Christian prayer forms, the need of spiritual directors who are at least knowledgeable in this area is evident. The personal predicament that the author describes could be happening to other Christians in our time. Moreover, as Christian contemplation becomes better known, a number of persons who have experienced the awakening of Kundalini through Eastern techniques may wish to return to their Christian roots, and their spiritual condition needs to be understood. In order to guide persons having this experience, Christian spiritual directors may need to dialogue with Eastern teachers in order to get a fuller understanding. The importance of the document on the non-Christian religious comes into focus here. The document states, the Church therefore has this exhortation for her sons and daughters, prudently and lovingly through dialogue and collaboration with the followers of other religion and in witness of Christian faith and life, acknowledge, preserve and promote the spiritual and moral goods found among these men and women, as well as values in their society and culture. This book will initiate Christians on the spiritual journey into this important but long neglected dimension of the transforming power of grace. Thomas Keating, June 1990. Altså, det her er forordet til Thomas Keating. Jeg håper du forstod litt av det jeg leste opp. Det er ganske alvorlig. Det går ikke an å blande kristen åndelighet med hinduisme. Altså en hinduistisk slangekraft. Det må jo alle som har lest Bibelen forstå. Takk for nå.